Use a formula to create your headlines, and also use numbers in the headlines whenever you try and use the words and phrases whereas possible. And the negative spin tends to be better. Basic rules for headlines are 5 to 10 words at the most, should be accurate and specific. In use the different forms of verbs for further actions. Make it clear, not clever. Clever headlines create ambiguity and leave people guessing about the relevancy of the topic to the current search query. Indeed, a catchy headline is you are empty in your reader and potential customers' world, and that a very busy space that occupy. And a bad headlines can cause your content marketing to fail. And with these headlines writing tips, it will show you how even the smallest tweak can make an enormous impact on the catchiness of your title. For example, one recent study conducted by the Content Marketing Institute found that including a hyphen or a column in the headlines increases the click-through rate by 9%. Headlines fail when they don't match the article written or aren't relevant to a specific theme. Also, when the length exceeds 62 characters, such as search engines tend to ignore the remainder of the headlines. This could decrease the conversion rate in the long run and decrease the search engine appeal year after. For example, if you are containing a step-by-step guide, don't include more than 9 steps because the human brain typically finds it difficult to process more than 9 items at a time. However, if you are writing about tools or different ways to do a thing, there is no limit to the number you can use. The purpose of the headline is to get your viewer to read the first sentence. Every headline should call for attention. The attention simply means mental focus and serious concentration on a word given. We have to use your visitors' words, be clear, not include site visitors. Whenever we use site visitor words, be clear, whereas site visitor scanning links on the page may not contain what they want with the cute phrasing you have used. A search engine may not place the article high in its results because the headline doesn't have the keywords it is matching. An example of a bad headline where the person wanted to tackle the question of whether to use an specific method or a better headline would read order even number of survey response categories what works best. And next we think about our global audience. If you want what you write about to have a global reach, be aware of abbreviations, acronyms, and idioms that only local understand. For example, per alley with the held in SSU, we may know it means Sky Student Union, but others may not. Try for medium length, about 8 words, and use more keywords that site visitors are looking for that search engines can match. And use a statement or question or call to action. The statement headlines put the key messages first. Don't use all the caps in the headlines. Bold and text sites are better ways to show that this is your headline. Whereas a statement, Francis Harvey Green Library acquired collection of rare Shakespeare books, and a question, are you playing too much for college tuition? A verb phrase makes a call to action. Whereas next, combined labels were nouns with more information. Nouns by themselves announce topics. They don't work well as headlines for articles or information pages. They don't give enough spaces for people to know that what they want. Whereas the headlines fail when they don't match the article, aren't relevant to a specific thing, also when the length exceeds to other characters. This could decrease the conversion rate in the long run and decrease the search engine appeal. Where, however, if you are writing any different ways to do a thing, there is no limit to number you can use. And the training resources for HR team leaders and add a short description if people need it. A headline should serve by itself as a bite that entices people to want the snack and then the meal. After a brief description, it will help people to select the right link. So, our next topic, put headings into old content as a first step. To become familiar with the content, you have go through it trying to write a headlines for each paragraph. That can be a useful first step in revising, but don't just add headlines to old content what you had written. So instead of a catchy headlines, you use your entry into your reader and the potential customer's word and that a very big space they occupy. For example, when we use a bad headlines can cause your content marketing to fail, and with those headlines, it will show on the catchiness of your file. Whereas we infinitely clear to form a verb or further actions. If you find it difficult to writing a heading for a section of text, it probably means that section is not clear or covers too many points or jumbled together. Clarify the content, break into smaller sections where we use numbers in the headlines or try to use 3 words or phrases whereas possible. Use the limited words to 5 to 10 words at the most should be accurate and specific. Infinitive forms of for the further actions. If you find yourself writing the same heading over different sections of content, it probably means the material is not well organized. Reorganize it to be a logical for your site versions. Create an outline. So when we are creating an outline, don't worry about using numericals or letters, etc. Write down the headings you are going to use in the order you are going to use them without any text under them. Write from your site visitor's point of view. Write as if you were recording both sides of the conversation. One good way to do that is to use I for site visitor in the question and you for the site visitor in the answer and we for the organization. So a heading can be in the form of a question. Keep the question short. Long take up precious space. Headings and bolds or italics or large blocks of bold are difficult to read. Despite the power of heading, some site visitors use the heading only as spots to see where new sections start. They don't really read the headings. Verb phrases as headings. Many web conversations or site visitors asking, how do I? If you have a series of questions, do not start each question with how do I. People will have a hard time finding what they want. Take away the repeated word and start each heading with an action. Where the bad headlines can cause many smallest tweaks for an enormous impact on the catchiness to our life. So thank you.
Thank you.